What is up? I'm a little bit tired of posting screenshots and typing everything, so I decided to do a video today as far as my trade ideas. So just quickly run through a few charts. Well, actually, last night I posted an idea about car potentially being having had capitulated yesterday. That was basically based off record volume yesterday and, massive move and this huge short squeeze. So I posted the idea that if, the low of yesterday broke today, might be a good spot to attempt a short, but I did say it was extremely high risk. Well, I will just point out that that did work. I also posted a great idea yesterday on MU that if we got any higher low above 471.34 to get long, because first off, because we had this reversal pattern. You can see this clear head and shoulders that failed to work. Then we gapped up, held the gap up, uh, got all the way to all-time highs, then consolidated below with a nice bull flag. I mean, obvious that you want to get in on that break for that trade. I think it has potential to go up way further. So I think there's lots of potential left in MU. I absolutely got into it today. Huge trade. And I showed that last night. So I thought I'd just cover that. Let's move on over to the SPY chart. I like the way the SPY chart looks right now. I think I rarely trade SPY anymore, but I think I'm going to set it for the chopping block tomorrow is something I might potentially trade tomorrow. Basically, little pullback to 710.50, or if we open below 710.50 would be just as great. Higher low over 710.50 to go long out of this bull flag for some continuation. Okay. Um, just catch along out of that. I think that is setting up for a good trade. Hopefully you have some type of tool to read market internals and can see, the buyer versus seller volume in the market and stuff like that, such as what I have up here in the left-hand side of my screen. Helps me know that when I'm seeing a trade idea and I want to go long, if these things are screaming green, then I know my long is probably good to go. We'll take a look at QQQ, I guess. Probably not going to trade this tomorrow just because it already broke out of the bull flag right here. But any pullbacks at all, especially if they happen to come back to 649.40, I would definitely want to get long right there as long as I saw a buyer stepping up, some type of hammer candle or something like that. I could also just see continuation over the high tomorrow to keep this thing going. But QQQ is not going to be one of my top things that I'm trying to trade tomorrow. Instead, I will probably go right back to MU. Yeah, we've already broken out of the bull flag, but I just look at the hourly chart. I mean, it went straight up, straight up. Not one red bar in there. So ideally, what I would love to see is if it would just swing down here in the morning, maybe even look below it real quick and give us a higher low back above so that I can get in on this thing and trade two equal highs. Alternatively, if the market internals are absolutely screaming green like they have been so much lately, then I will absolutely consider taking along right on over the high day for continuation. Some type of scalp long. I'm not expecting it to go as far tomorrow as it did today or anything like that, but you know, it's a main idea on that one. Moving on, AVGO, basically the same trade idea is MU. It's just been crazy. Broke out of this little flag. Also gave us new all-time highs today, so that's same thing we got on MU. So ideally, what we are looking for is I can take a pullback to 420. Would be fine if I saw buyers stepping up there, little hammer candle or something. Better would be 414.50, little hammer candle, double bottom, look below and fail. Anything that gives me a trigger to jump in, trade back up to equal highs. Also, I am okay with a higher low over yesterday high day. So that is how I am looking at AVGO. I think it's still got plenty of room to potentially move to the upside. Let's look at the Apple chart. The Apple chart I like. We still have a flag right here. It had a nice retrace today. You had this level this morning, 269.65, broke above that, retraced all this. So now what we are looking for is just continuation of this little potential breakout right here, this flag, whatever you want to call it. Higher low above 273.50. There's a tiny little level at 274.85. Probably going to sell half my position there and try to target somewhere up here. Next, I want to look at Amazon. If I can get my mouse, there we go. Amazon. Let's go back to the daily, take a quick look at this. We got this nice flag set up here. We have not quite reached all-time highs yet. So what I am looking for on Amazon, I think I really like the long-term story on Amazon. I like that it's going to be the one of the big winners probably of AI efficiency. They're going to make so much money not only from being invested in Anthropic and things like that, but from when AI comes through and changes the way we do everything. I think Amazon's going to benefit greatly from that, as well as from robotics. I mean, Amazon's most likely set to be just one of the massive winners. So what am I looking for tomorrow? I'm basically just looking for a higher low above 256 to target the all-time high. What happens at the all-time high? Do we get caught up in consolidation? Do we just break out right over it? I don't know. Time will tell. But I'm looking for a higher low above 256, target all-time high tomorrow. NVIDIA. Right, we'll go back to the daily. What do we have here on NVIDIA? We have not yet made it back up to all-time highs on NVIDIA. So it's clearly not the leader it once was, right? Or it would be at all-time highs and above like other things are. However, it's moving up. It looks okay. I am looking for a higher low above 202.50. And my targets are going to look something like target bottom of the gap, higher low into gap, target gap fill. So that's what I'm looking for that. Of course, with all these, the market's really bullish right now, and like it's just in massive breakout mode, but I do still want to see green internals, green volume flows, all that good stuff on trades. You don't want to fall out of your strategy just because conditions happen to be a certain way for a minute. Yes, I do change my strategy for conditions to an extent, but I don't want to fall out of the habit of making sure that internals match my trade ideas. Walmart, really like this one. So as you can see here on the daily chart, back on this day, April 9th, I actually tried to trade the breakout over 128.75. As you can see, it went up, it failed. So yesterday we closed above 128.75, and today we got a nice hammer candle. So that means it pulled back, buyers stepped right in, and we're just looking for a higher low above 130.45, and there's not a lot of area to stop price between here and the all-time highs. So ideally, that's what I'm looking for. If it does get up here and then breaks back down below and gives a lower high, step out of the way. Um, those are the main charts I am watching tomorrow. Um, I'm probably not going to be watching these other charts I'll pull up, but we'll go ahead and look at them. Google, I like this bull flag. If and when gets above 341.70 with a higher low target, 349.15, which I think is the all-time high. Yes, it is. Um, that's the trade there. I have an alert set for that. So if we get there tomorrow, I may switch over and pull this chart up, depending on what's going on. Microsoft. Hmm, Microsoft's okay. I mean, obviously it's recovering from the bottoms. We have a higher low above this funky, I'll call it some type of double bottom, whatever it is. We have a higher low above this neck area. And we're breaking above the highs there today. So in theory, if there wasn't better trades, which there is, you could look for maybe a pullback to 430.50, higher low above yesterday, high day, target the bottom of this gap. Don't think that it's going to come up here and run right into this gap. That's not the way that I think price action typically works. What'll happen is if it does break out above here, typically what you will see is it'll hit the gap and it'll stop and it will pull back and consolidate, consolidate, consolidate. And then once it consolidates below the gap, then you catch the higher low into the gap for the gap fill. And that is most likely the only way I would attempt that. AMD, what a ripper AMD is. Like, this is basically essentially a similar trade to AVGO and MU. The big difference is it broke the flag area, but it was already above the previous all-time high over here. So it's already extended much further than those charts, um, which is why I'm probably not putting it on my top watch, even though it is just parabolic. Pullbacks to 298, higher lows over yesterday, higher day, pullback to 286.25. Both good. And Intel is the final one I will bring up. I really do like this Intel chart. I believe Intel is a trade idea I shared yesterday, and it didn't fail today. It just hasn't played out as of yet. Um, so what we are looking for on Intel, well, the ideal higher low on the Intel chart is this 65.23. It's there. It's holding above there. So any look below this level and higher low above it, I would be in for equal highs, if not further. Any higher low above 68 to equal highs. And the reason I say if not further is because I think it is somewhat probable that we probably go up and fill this gap above us, since it's pretty much right above us and we have consolidation below the gap like I was just talking about. Um, and I think that is it for now. Oh, and yo, please click like, please subscribe, please follow. I have so few people following. I celebrate and I throw a huge party every time there's a new follower. No, really though, just, follow, please. Or don't, if you don't like trade ideas that work and stuff like that, then, you don't have to. That is it, I'm out.